Hey, what's up, people? It is the 26th of September, Thursday, and I'm just waking up, quite literally. This is my this is my refill of my first cup, and I thought it's been a couple days, and coming off of a run of several videos. It's like, don't go completely cold, stay in touch was the thought behind making this video. Plus, I got a CD that I need to listen to more, but I can already review it because it's so damned good. But a couple thoughts I woke up having this morning, and one was, it's slightly political, which is, it's interesting how we're taught that love is the answer and that being decent to other human beings is of value, and yet what we have on display are world leaders who are the exact opposite. And I just want to just say, to me, it doesn't make sense that the rules are different for leaders. They're supposed to be examples, and the examples that they've been setting are the ruination. Well, it is for many of us. I'm including myself. I'm directly affected. It makes life hard for us. One other thing I want to say right quick, because it's just who I am, is I hope you all noticed that I don't have a shtick. I don't ask you to subscribe to me and all that shit. Fuck, I hate commercialism. The one thing I say every now and then is, people ask a lot of questions, new viewers ask questions, and my response to you is, watch some old videos I've made. By now, it's probably a couple thousand videos. I've made over 1,000 videos over a period of almost 10 years now, is it? I don't know. I've talked about a lot of music, a wide variety. There's a lot that I don't know. Notice how I always tell you that, rather than like the sort of idiot that our president is, who can't admit mistakes or be human. It's not a sign of strength to not be able to admit you're wrong or you don't know something. It only looks like strength to stupid people. Are you one of them? So, there's a lot that I don't know, and there's stuff that I do know. It just reminds me that I wanted to make a connection here, talking about what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so long records. Here we go. Okay, so I got another CD from Gramophone. And in looking at the one sheet about it, I'm starting to make the connections about the people on the records. So they sent me the new Elephant 9 CDs, the psychedelic stuff, 1 and 2, which I love. I really like that band. Then they just sent this to me, Krokofant, Q. Now the first thing I noticed was the Elephant 9, Krokofant. Is there a connection? Well, they actually are two different groups, but there is a connection. This is brand new, 2019 release, Q, by Krokofant. Krokofant, which is a trio, which on this album is joined. I love this color coding of their CDs. They're all no graphics, just color on all the Ruined Gramophone CDs. Interesting, all the different permutations of colors they're probably using for the different releases. That's kind of cool. And the same artist, Kim Hortoy, however you say his name. I like this real bold graphic design, and I can see where this artist probably can go on infinitely with his approach to this. I think I lost my train of thought a little bit. Oh, I just wanted to say I'm starting to make the connection between the people on the Ruined Gramophone label. This is the new Krokofant Elephant 9. The keyboardist is the same guy from Super Silent. I've had this for a while. I have a hard time saying his name. And also Death Prod. See, I'm making these connections now. Super Silent is, I've had this for a while. Amazing. I only have a couple of Super Silents. I thought I'd pulled them both, but I didn't. The other thing I want to clue in here, just bear with me, people, is this. Okay, so Death Prod is part of Super Silent, part of Motorcycle, and is involved. And I love his work. I listened to this again all the way through a couple days ago, and this is really, really quite excellent. I still haven't listened to the words. I just don't care. This is musically really thick, and it's totally serious, but at the same time, they do these over-the-top things, and I'm certain they're doing it on purpose for fun. But I catch it. There's certain little things where the music is really grand and big and really ambitious. Then they'll do something that's really pretentious, like a big gong or something, It's kind of fun in that sense. But man, these guys can play. And this is just loaded with ideas. So after listening to Motorcycle several times, I like this new album quite a bit. I went back where someone had given me a Motorcycle album before on CD and listened to that. Don't like it as much as this. So to get back to this new Krokofant, thank you, Ruined Gramophone, for letting me talk about the music you release. I immediately like this. It starts off wonderfully with a off-kilter rhythm on the drums, where you can hear that, man, he can mess that beat up any time now. And it just gets stronger through the piece. Very reminiscent of Mahavishnu Orchestra, the more jazzy side of Prague, which makes me think of like Embryo. And then there's this just organicness to everything that just reminds me of the best parts of what I liked about the music of the 70s, which, since that was my teens, it's still kind of a special period for me. I want to praise Ruined Gramophone. I think part of it is because I'm an American, and this is so un-American sounding, which I love. Oh my God, I love it. It sounds like the band was just recorded. Like it sounds like there's hardly any engineering. There's a warm roundness to the sound, like we're just sitting in a room with these guys playing. Very organic. It doesn't, I like it. I don't know that I would like to record my music like this, but I like the sound of this. It's very inviting and human. And it puts the focus on the music as opposed to the technology around it. Krokofant Q. Apparently it was a trio, guitar, sax, and drums. I checked out some of the stuff after getting this online. Thank goodness for YouTube and stuff. And I like this new version way better with bass and the keyboardist, the organ. Man, I love his playing. This is dynamite, and it's very jazzy and progressive. Vandergraaf Generator is a reference point too. I don't even have to wait, and I've listened to it all the way through already twice now, because this is just what I want to hear. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but this is what I'm looking for in this world of music. It's original, it's real. I also went online and watched a performance by Krokofant, where it turns out they're trying out these songs before they made the record. I watched a performance that's on YouTube. And it makes a difference. These people are all about making this music and nothing else. Just purely and simple. We're playing this music. We're into it. We love it. And that's what I love. You know, music and art are work on so many different levels. You know, it can be useful and it can be used for things. You know, it can be used to convey ideas. You know, it can be used to set up societies, to point people in a direction. It can be just simple entertainment. It can be the sound that you want to use while you're making love. But music goes so much deeper. And I love it when the music is just pouring out of people because they really have no choice, or it's just the thing that brings them joy. So again, another big thumbs up to Ruined Gramophone. Thank you for adding me. I love what you do. I really do. I'm interested in even more abstract, strange things that you release, more jazz-like recordings. Bring it on, please. Lovely comments from people. Thank you so much. I woke up this morning and someone, I think his name was Jose, asked me about 5 artists that have touched you. That's tough. And I decided not to try to pull any records. I'll just try to answer it, okay? Because it's a tough one. Parts of my memory are fuzzy now. They just, you know, I'll try to think about things I used to keep a real strong list of, and it just becomes muddied. But I can say off the top of my head, throughout my life, some artists whose work or something they did or sang touched my soul, moved me, made me cry, made me feel like $1,000,000 or something. I'll start with my childhood. I don't like to go to church, and I don't listen to gospel music for a number of reasons, but Mahalia Jackson, early on in my life, when I heard her sing, and my mom sang with Mahalia Jackson, all this stuff, some people might think that I'm making up these stories. I love telling them because I'm not, you know. It's wonderful. Man, yeah, my life has been rather interesting. So my mom, before she got all sick, having us kids, that's how she met my dad. But anyway, she was very religious. My grandpa, her dad, was a Baptist minister who they thought I was going to be just like. I look like him. But Mahalia Jackson was played in the house a lot. And she had this song called In the Upper Room. It would just chill me to the point that sometimes it would scare me. Okay, that really moved me. I mentioned the other day, Peter Gabriel. More than one Peter Gabriel song has moved me emotionally. Peter Gabriel is one. The jazz saxophonist Albert Ayler. His albums are in the other room, so I'm not going to go grab them. Spiritual Unity, there's a part on that album that every time, even now, it's like something happened. It's like almost like something physically moves. It's so strong. That moves me. I'll just say it. It's why I talk so strongly about the band Muse and Jonas Bjerre from Denmark. Those are right here. This music moves me. Muse and Jonas, the way he sings, I get an emotional response to a lot of their work. So that's a few right there, okay? You hear people play amazing, stunning solos on different instruments. I feel that. I felt Eddie Van Halen, okay? One other thing that I'll share, which is maybe too much information, is that I am a dedicated single man, and I almost became a priest until when I went to seminar and found out what that's about and just how behind the scenes messed up things are. So my music is not about attracting the opposite sex or the same sex. My music is not about sex at all. And so music where that's the focus, love songs or songs where you're trying to bed your partner. And the perfect example that comes to mind is Al Green. I just have no interest in that music. It has no place in the way that I live because I'm not over here pining for some woman, you know. And I'll also say I'm not over here pining for some guy. You know, I've tried both, you know, and as much as I love people, you know, intimacy is a pain in the ass depending on your personality. And I have had nothing but a bad time, mostly, with trying to be with someone else. So, and it's reflected in my music. I don't have boudoir music. Just thought I'd let you know, okay? The other records I pulled trying to get the super silent that came right quick. Everything is interesting. Sun Ra, more Sun Ra. The Paris tapes. Yeah, I'd collect all super Sun Ra if I could. Then while I was trying to get to my super silent, well, what's right after super silent alphabetically in my collection? Super Sister. Dutch band. Love them. Which reminds me, I think Anthony Ferraro sent me the brand new Super Sister. It's fantastic, if I haven't said it already. Excuse me. The brand new Super Sister album is brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, quick one on this quick review. David Nance Group from Omaha. Most of these people I know. Like I said, I've never played music with David Nance, but everybody else in the band I have. I can see why this is, people like this. It's real music. You know, this is not what I'm drawn to listen to, but I can give it honest props. This is honest music. There is again, I'm not concerned about the words. I just don't care, but I feel this music. This is good. David Nance. Because I spend a lot of time on my own, I probably, if I were to hang out more, I'd probably be on a David Nance record. But I wouldn't mind playing with him. So I'm just putting that out there. What else is down here? Okay, so let me tell you this. So Monday, and this is how it goes, because we're creatures of habit. So I was in Lincoln over the weekend, did the show, but I got to dig. And one dig leads to another, doesn't it? So I counted my pennies, even though I can spend a little bit. My mindset is that I need to be saving this money so I can get my house repaired. But I went to Canesville Collectibles with the idea I'm looking for ECMs, okay? Only found a couple, but I found something there that I've been needing in my collection and haven't been coming across it since I realized I really need this album. But they had it there for $4. Herman Zobel. Have you heard about this album? It's the only album he made. It's really, really, really good and unusual. It goes from soul, piano, jazz musings to full-on Frank Zappa Mother's arrangements and excellent playing. This is really good. Apparently this guy just disappeared after making this record or something to that effect. But this was still in the shrink wrap. So I got it literally almost brand new by going over there thinking, okay, so the other ones I put away already. I just got a couple of Pat Metheny's because getting to that point. Here's the other one. Well, here's one that I found over there for my ECM collection. A promo single, Are You Going With Me, 18 and James. So I already have the album, but like I said, I'm collecting ECM. And this was only $3. I can afford that. I did find something cool, though. And I like that about Canesville. It's a big mess of record store. It's an old building that's just piled to the ceiling with junky records and cassettes. But I always find stuff over there. And my find this time, besides the Herman Zobel, that was a find, but this one was too. Gershon Kingsley, First Moog Quartet. Record is slightly used, but this is the sort of thing that is not commonly found. Gershon Kingsley, pioneer of electronics, composer, all kinds of stuff. And this is cool, cool, cool. It's way cool because it's a white label promo. I looked on Discogs and they don't even have a promo of this listed. And it's in real good shape, playing wise. Gershon Kingsley. That's the fun part of digging. I got a couple more. Everything was $3 to $4 that I paid for, which is like, yeah, I can afford that. I had not known that Mal Waldron had worked with David Friesen. David Friesen is often associated with New Age music, but he is an accomplished bassist. And this is a lovely duo album by them on Muse, another good, fairly reliable jazz label. Notice I said fairly reliable. When you see Muse used for cheap and you're interested in finding out about good jazz, I'd say pick them up. This one, I took a chance. Well, didn't take a chance. I knew that this was going to be a mix. Fuse 1 on CTI with these great players. Joe Farrell, Stanley Clarke, Larry Coryell, Tony Williams, and John McLaughlin. So those are my dudes. But seeing that it's on CTI, I knew that most likely this was going to be kind of a coffee table jazz kind of record. And it is. It's got that coffee table jazz sound that I associate with people like David Sanborn and Bob James, which I don't care for. But the John McLaughlin compositions on here made it worth it. John McLaughlin saves the day because he takes it up higher. John McLaughlin always makes real music. Oh, here's the other ECM that I found. It's one of those where when I saw it, it's such a common cover that over the years I probably passed it many times, just forgetting, thinking, oh, I have that. This time, because this was only $3 in immaculate shape, I said, well, if I've already got it, I can give it to someone. I didn't have this. All these years thinking I had it, I don't. Played it. I love Pat Metheny. Love it. Got to see him years ago with Gary Burton. And the other find, which I hate it when you have to settle for radio station copies that have been defaced, but you can't find the record otherwise, or it's hard to find. So this is one where it's like I don't see it. I've been wanting this. Terrell Nakamura, Rising Sun. Yep. From KMSC, wherever that's from. Terrell Nakamura. This is another one of those albums where parts of it move into smooth jazz, but this is funky and good. He's a bass player. Interesting, that it's the bass player's set. But most of this is really good. Really good. I think John Coltrane 68 turned me onto this album. And so I was happy to find a copy, even though, like I said, I hate having to get radio station copies. But the other part, even though it's only fun to me, is that it is a white label promo. This is a good album. Good album. Okay, 24 minutes. So before I go, I will do a quick poll from... Oh geez. Yeah, there is actually one more to show you. About this. Farid Haq. Voices Rising. Years ago, I got a promo when he got signed to Blue Note of that CD. Guitarist, really good. But he blends many different styles to the point where it's like you're not, you can't say, oh, this is Middle Eastern sounding. No, it's just really wonderful. And this is another great album on the Pangea label, which I always associate with Kip Hanrahan. Fareed Haq. Really good. So I'm going to just do one quick pull from up here, because I know this is mainly Miles Davis, but let me see if I can get something besides Miles Davis out of this section, okay? I'm going to try to get, I'm not looking, because that blows it. So these are stuck together. Let's see which records I get that are stuck together. Yeah, sure enough, it's the Miles Davis section. Of course, what can you say? Miles Davis. Eternal genius. Live Evil. This is one of my favorite Miles Davis albums. It's just blisters. This is on fire. This is an amazing album. I can still remember the first time I heard this, because it just blew my shit away. It just blew me away. Here's another one that I pulled. Miles Davis Directions. I don't remember him being at the house. I remember him being in town. I don't think I was at home when he stopped by. I'll go ahead and tell you the reason why he stopped by. Because I know this. My dad was a junkie. And Miles needed to score. In Omaha, among other people, when you're a musician in Omaha at a time, one of the people you would look up was my dad. Is that spreading dirt on my dad? No, that's the fucking truth, okay? All right? But I missed Miles that day. But boy, do I love Miles. One more quick thing here. I have to step out of the room. So a while back, I believe it was Alan Couch. Alan's been very kind, sent me tapes, cassettes of really cool stuff. And one time, I believe it was you, Alan, who sent me a big package of Miles Davis bootlegs. Really appreciate them very much. However, they came in those plain cases, and I'm nerdy, and so it got to a point where it's like, well, I'd like for these to have an identity. So I started looking them up, and I made covers for them. So, for example, this is the 3 discs of Miles Davis in Switzerland. I found the cover for that. Here is him at Massey Hall in Toronto. This one I mocked up because I couldn't find the cover, but this is at Kokura City Hall, 1975. See, it's fun. This is something fun to do, 2 Miles Live. I found the cover for that online, so I made covers for those. Festival de Wanpin. See, it makes them more real to me to give them covers. Thank you, Alan, again for this addition to my collection. Miles Davis in Belgrade, 1971. Berlin, 1969. Belgrade, 1973. See how it just makes a difference to give them a cover. It does. In the Bahamas, and I figured that most of these bootlegs did have covers that someone would, and when I couldn't find them, I would find suitable covers like this one, Miles in Tokyo. And if they didn't have, I would make one. Here's one where I made the cover. I found a good graphic. This is for him at Hofstra U. It's an audience recording. And I just found that picture and used that. Miles at the Fillmore. I love Miles Davis. So thank you again, Alan. I had to make these covers to, I didn't have to, but it's like, yeah, this, Miles. Has Miles Davis's music ever touched my feelings and emotions? Absolutely. Okay, folks. See ya.